Welcome to the Vol Bros, presented by the Ooltewah Club. My name is Evan. This is my brother Rustin, and we are two Vol Bros who are actually bros in real life. And this is the 200th episode of the Vol Bros. Very, very exciting. Uh, Wish it was more exciting after coming off a win at Kentucky, but it's not. Kind of got beat down a little bit tonight. Rustin, what were your thoughts about what you saw this evening from the Lady Vols?
It's just garbage. It was one of those nights. Um, Nothing you could do about it. Everybody played like crap except Talasia Cooper. One person can't win a game, and my biggest concern coming into this was would they be able to control Georgia A more in the press? They didn't, but that wasn't why they lost. They couldn't throw it in the ocean, and it became infectious. No one could hit anything. Um, this is one of those games you just gotta pretend it never happened and move on. Um, Anything that could possibly go wrong tonight did. And the good news is they can come back and beat Georgia at home, finish 22-7 for the regular season, and move on to the postseason and just pretend like this never happened.
Anytime you're banking in multiple threes in the game, one of two things is either happening. Either everything is going your way, or you're missing shots so bad that you're banking in threes. One of the two things, and that was what was happening tonight.
Yeah. Talasia shot 11 of 22 from the floor. The rest of the team was 12 of 63.
Not great, Bob. Not great. Josh said, "Welcome, Josh. Great to have you." Said Kentucky men and women's basketball literally couldn't have played better in the 3 games against Tennessee this year. Jasper, welcome, Jasper. Said, "Let's see how Rustin blames this one on Talasia." I think he did the opposite.
Well, not to mention, a week ago I said if Talasia Cooper ever figures out how to mature and control her emotions, she has potential to be one of the greatest Lady Vols of all time. I want Talasia.
You did say that.
I want Talasia to be successful, but she's got to learn how to control herself, and she's got to learn how to command the ball, and she's got to learn how to make good decisions, and she's got to grow up. She's got to mature. They caught her on camera multiple times during that last game pouting on the bench. Can't happen. You've got to mature.
Yep. If anybody wants to watch that, you can go back and watch our last episode. Rustin did say that she does have potential to be one of the best Lady Vols of all time. Sam said our women didn't share the ball well, then continue to dribble into ball traps, turnovers. Hopefully they'll learn from this game. Absolutely. Sam, we're glad you're with us, buddy. Diesel, glad you're with us, man. Let's see. I've said it all season. We have to play better defensively to beat good teams. Diesel, good to have you. There were. We got shades of early December in tonight's transition defense. Multiple times Kentucky just totally beat us down the court. Hopefully, that gets rectified real quick. Mina Likey, welcome. Great to have you. She said, "What did I just watch?" And something that wasn't pretty, I can tell you that much. Like he also said, great 200th evening Vol Bros. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, buddy. Let's see. Matt, welcome, buddy. He said, "Man, I'm down. That game was rough to watch." Oh, for sure. It was. The total domination. Yeah.
Just got to toss it in the trash and move on. There will not be another game this year where we will get out rebounded by 20. We'll lose every 50-50 ball. We will shoot a whopping 31% from the field. And if you remove Talasia Cooper from that, we shot about 19% from the field. That's not going to happen again. This was one of those rare, weird nights when absolutely nothing went right. And you just have to, they shouldn't even watch the film of this. Like, they should just pretend it never happened. I'm serious. They should just pretend it never happened and move on. It was just one of those days.
Moondrops Beatty, welcome. Great to have you. She said, "I had to turn the Lady Vols game off. It was just atrocious. I've never seen them play that bad. Kiss the 3 seed goodbye. Will this affect getting a 4 seed? Hope not. I don't think so.
No.
Um, I don't think they're going to get a 3 seed, but I definitely don't think they're going to drop below a 4 seed.
Some of the latest before tonight, some of the latest polls or prognosticators had us as the last 3 seed. I think we're a solid 4 seed, which is great. You get to host the first 2 rounds. That's all that really matters. You just want to be in the top 4.
And like Rustin said, I mean, if they win Sunday, beat Georgia at home, they finish the season 22-7. That's incredible. If anybody had told a Tennessee fan, 9 months ago, that Kim Caldwell was going to finish the regular season 22-7 in her first year at Tennessee, I think everybody and their brother would have been like, "Yeah, buddy, sign me up." I mean, that would have been wonderful news. And so I think a 4 seed is a good thing heading into the tournament. Mississippi Vol, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said, "Good evening, guys. Happy 200th." Now, Mississippi Vol, you let me know, but somebody from Mississippi ordered a Tony Goat sweatshirt. So I'm curious if that was you, because I saw it was from Mississippi, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder if that's him." If you're wondering what I'm referring to, so it is this sweatshirt right here. That this was ordered just this past few days. If you're like, "Man, that hat Evan's wearing looks really good," I'd be like, "I know, I totally agree." You can also get that on our website, thevolbros.com/shop. Really good looking hat. But we were super excited to see one of the sweatshirts sold. But yeah, I turned it to the side so you can see that's puff embroidery. That's legit, man. Richardson 112 hat, puff embroidery. That's good stuff. So strongly recommend that. Josh, welcome. He said Sweet 16 ceiling, don't play enough defense.
I don't know that it's they don't play enough defense. I don't think we can judge by tonight. For the last month and a half, they've done a really good job trapping well, trapping with high hands, so it was very difficult to throw over the top of it. Really good job with backside rotation. Like, they've drastically gotten better from the beginning of the year. And for whatever reason tonight, that wasn't there. The effort was low. The traps were horrendous. Defensive rotation was awful. They gave up. Kentucky scored 82 points. 46 of them were in the paint. You're giving up 46 points in the paint and get out rebounded by 20. That means almost all their points came off either layups in transition because of bad defensive rotation, or putbacks because we just weren't boxing out and giving up lots of offensive rebounds. So both of those things come down to effort. I mean, they just do. So I think this will be a wake up call. I think it comes at a great time. We've got to do better on the front of the press. We are giving way too much space and allowing people to throw over the top of us. They've got it, and that just comes again. It comes down to effort. When you're giving space on the press, it's because you're afraid you're going to get beat off the dribble. You got to be willing to sell out and stop the ball. So they've got an opportunity to use this to really move forward well.
Mississippi Vol said it wasn't him, but hey, man, maybe somebody bought it for a gift for you. You never know.
Surprise!
Yeah. Just act surprised if you ever seen it. Mina, like you said, hit the like button. I think that's great advice. Absolutely. Jonathan, welcome, buddy. He said, "Good evening, Vol Bros. Congrats on 200 episodes. Appreciate that so much." He said, "Can't wait for 2,000 more." Hey, man, that'd be great. We might be about 65 when that rolls around. We hit our 2,000. He said, "I didn't get to watch Lady Vols game tonight. Looked like a rough game from the box score." Yeah, you don't want to go back and watch it. don't waste your time, man. It wasn't pretty. Josh said basketball's 1-5 versus Kentucky and Vandy, and unacceptable. Totally agree, man. Matt, this is what I was thinking too while I was watching it. Matt hit the nail on the head. He's like, It was Florida versus Tennessee flashbacks from the first men's game this season that they played. Yep, that's the way I felt about it too. Eric said, "What's up, all bros? Lady Vols looked rough tonight." Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. Josh said, "I think Kim lost some goodwill with this game. It wasn't that we lost; the team was totally uninterested, and that's on the coach." So I will say, all right, there was one play where yes, they looked uninterested. Well, maybe more than one, but I vividly remember. I can't remember Shrek. What's her name? I can't remember her name. Strack. Okay. Y'all know I'm great with names. And so that girl was dribbling Ruby White. I think it's Ruby Whitehorn was guarding a girl at the top of the key. Strack had the ball in the wing, dribbled towards the foul line, dribbled right behind Ruby. Ruby just stood there and didn't even try to, steal the ball, even though she was dribbling it very loosely away from her body right next to Ruby. And Ruby just stood there. And I was like, I've never seen her play like that before. That was shocking to me. Jonathan said, "I hate losing in Kentucky in any sport." Matt said, "Caldwell won't forget this one. Revenge upcoming." So it'd have to be pretty late in the SEC tournament for them to meet again, or it's going to be in the NCAA tournament. The way that if the seeding in the SEC tournament works out the way it currently is, then they would not face Kentucky until I believe the semifinals. If that were to play out the way it currently is seeded, I believe. Because if they win their first game, they're going to have to play Texas. And then if they beat Texas, then they would play probably Kentucky. Let's see here. James said, "Kentucky wrote the script on how to play Tennessee. Stop, dribble, drive, take away, outlet pass. Kim has to get high IQ and elite 3-point players. No confidence in any of the players." Josh, he said they might beat us by 20 again. He's like, we had no answer for their length. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Bobby. Hey, Bobby, don't worry about it. You didn't want to let us down, man. You did not let us down. Bobby, it's great to have you. Bobby was there tonight. He was in the arena. And I hate it for you, Bobby, that you didn't get to see a better performance than what you saw tonight. But I certainly do appreciate, on behalf of All Nation, I appreciate you being there to represent us this evening. He was there with his family. So, Bobby, we're glad that you got to be there. I'm sorry that you didn't get to see a better product on the court. But we're also thrilled you're with us now. Jonathan said, "It sounds like tonight was like when the men went to Florida." Yep, that's exactly right. Mississippi Vols said, "Speaking of Georgia, I would hate to be them on Sunday." Yeah, no kidding. I agree with that for sure. Eric said, "Happy 200th episode, Vol Bros. I appreciate that so much." Moondrop Speedy said, "I was hoping for the 3 seats so they could play in Birmingham and not Spokane. That's a long way from home, and UCLA will be in that bracket." Yeah, good point. Good point. Bobby said, "We thought we could bring the girls a little Tennessee love up here in the Blue State." He was there. Just unfortunately, they were outmatched tonight, unfortunately. Josh said, "Sorry to be negative tonight." Don't worry about that, man. We're pretty negative too. It was horrible. It was awful. He said, "Going on 3 versus Kentucky in the same year is disgusting." Yeah, totally agree, man. Matt said, "Our full court press is so predictable. Doesn't work. If it doesn't work, we sneak on the person they're passing to." Yeah, I mean, they know when traps are coming for sure. Mississippi All said he may need to get a shirt sometime. I like that. Josh said, "Tamari Key's sister killed us." Summit Blue, that's a cool name. Look at that. That's really neat. I like the profile photo and everything. That's pretty cool. Lady Vols released a video on Twitter today about Summit Blue. They had 4 different color swatches on a poster board, and they're asking random fans, "Hey, which one's Summit Blue?" I got it right, by the way, when I watched it. Summit Blue said letting Key drive to the length of the court for multiple layups was nasty work. Yeah. Mr. Osborne, welcome, buddy. Oh man, it's great to see you. He said, "Congrats, Volbro, on show number 200. Well-deserved success, gentlemen. I purchased a TriStar and Everything Schools T-shirt today." Hey, you the man. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you very much. That is awesome. That is fantastic. We appreciate that. Very, very cool. Greg said Lady Vols played everyone tonight until all year until tonight. Um, let's see. Diesel said those goat hats are dope. Congratulations on 200. I appreciate that, Diesel, very much. Hey, if you want a goat hat, I know where you can find one. Thevolbros.com/shop. Perfect for baseball season. Right in time for baseball season. Got the Tony V 22 in the middle. Let's see. Let's see. Greg said played everyone tonight except for tonight. Yep. Let's see. Matt said, how many steals do we get? Like -2?
6.
That's pretty good.
Ironically, we only had 13 turnovers and they had 20.
Man, that's sad. That's sad. That's sad. Let's see. Hey, Matt, dude, you're the man. And he said, happy 200th, my bros, Rustin and Evan, my boys, much love. Hey, we appreciate that, Matt. Thank you very much, dude. That's awesome. That is fantastic. Matt, appreciate that super chat very, very much. Let's see. Evan, welcome, buddy. This is cool. We're getting congrats from an Alabama fan. That's what I'm talking about. Evan said, congrats on 200 episodes. Hey, we appreciate you, Evan. We always enjoy when you join us on the show, man. Appreciate it. Moondrop Speedy said, I saw. Go ahead, Rustin.
He's only here because Tennessee plays Bama on Saturday.
That's true. We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Up.
Yeah, that's coming, Evan. It's coming. Moondrop Speedy said, I saw Cooper and Spencer looking at Caldwell like they were annoyed she was correcting them on the sideline. I don't like judging that athlete's effort, but they looked like they didn't care. Well, here's the thing. So I'm gonna agree with you on this. There have been at least twice I can think of after very close losses where the way that I'm not going to name which players it was, but a couple of the players, one of them might be listed by Moondrop Speedy here. I can neither confirm nor deny. In a post-game press conference, Kim was talking about, I think it was after, it wasn't Oklahoma. It was the game. I think it was LSU because they played Oklahoma before they played LSU, right? And so there was the second game in a row that they had lost by like one possession, and they, furiously come back in the fourth quarter to almost win the game. And Kim was like, I don't know why it takes getting down that much to actually play the way we're supposed to play. Either they don't care or something. And one of the players kind of shot her this look like, oh, I can't believe she's saying that kind of thing. So, yeah, I hope everything's all right.
You never ever know. You never ever know what's actually being said in those huddles.
Yep.
It could be any number of things. Sam Spencer's a competitor. She wants to fight and win. I don't think anybody will ever question her effort. She plays harder than anybody on the court pretty much every night. It could have been anything from Caldwell was getting on to another player and Spencer didn't like the way that player responded and was more annoyed at the player than Caldwell. It could be that, sometimes coaches see stuff wrong. And in the heat of the moment, they say something to one player thinking it was that player's responsibility. And then they go back and watch it on film and realize, oh, I was wrong. The player was actually right. And so it could have been that she was getting on to Sam Spencer for something, and Sam knew that she had done what she was supposed to, and it was actually, Sarah Puckett's fault or something like that. And Sam might have been upset about that. In those moments when nothing is going right and you can't hit water if you fall out of a boat, it's easy for emotion to jump in and become real heated.
Sure, absolutely. When you said that about Evans,
I couldn't tell from I know the camera angle she's talking about. I couldn't tell also. I already got chastised for picking on Talasia Cooper, but I couldn't tell if Sam Spencer might have been pissed off at Talasia Cooper.
Well,
And when Kim
I was
Caldwell was
talking about
getting on to,
Talasia.
and when Kim Caldwell was getting on to both of them, Talasia or Sam was sitting there going, "Don't talk to me, it's her." So that could have been a big part of it too.
So, Mr. Osborne, I see your order now. You got the 50/50 dry blend t-shirt. That's what I'm talking about. That's what it looks like. I think is what you got there. And then somebody else 3 minutes ago purchased a crew neck sweatshirt. That's awesome. That's what I'm talking about. So thank you, whoever that was as well. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much. It really is just, I mean, we so appreciate it, how you support our show by getting some awesome looking stuff. We try to make good looking stuff. The TriStar stuff that Mr. Osborne got here, I'll put that on the screen real quick because this is my wife's favorite design we have. Even the little thing up here, you go to TriStar. So this is my wife's favorite design. I like it too, but it's good looking. We'll try to maybe get that on a hat. We'll see what we can do because that'd look good on a hat. So let's see some of the other comments coming through. Mr. Osborne. He said, if you're going to be 65 at episode 2000, I'll be around 75 to 80. Hey, we'll all still be going strong, won't we, Mr. Osborne? That's what I'm talking about. That's good. Greg said, hopefully this will be like the Ohio State losing to Michigan type of wake-up call. Yeah, amen, brother.
I think so. This is a veteran team. There's a lot of competitors. The competitive makeup of this team is strong. I think they're going to flush this and be just fine.
When you said that Evan was joining us because he just wants to hear us talk about Tennessee Bama, he said, you're not wrong. Mm-hmm. I like that. That's pretty good. Let's see. Yeah. So Josh said, the what's is it Straka? Was that her name? Is that right? How you spelled it?
Straka. Yeah.
Yeah. 11 for 11 from the field. That's a pretty solid night. That's pretty solid. Literally, you can't do better than that. Literally, you're 100% from the field.
She had a couple of turnaround jumpers that were tough, but other than that, the other 9 were pretty much layups. I mean, it's not hard to go for 11 when you're not really getting contested.
James said when what you're talking about there, he said Cooper's attitude's a problem. Spencer was upset with Cooper taking her time to throw the ball back in at the end of the game. Let's see. Greg said, hey, Greg, he said, bought Home Sweet Home and Goat t-shirts today. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that so much. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. That is awesome. I love that. That is so cool. I like that Home Sweet Home. Rustin's daughter actually has the Home Sweet Home hoodie. Didn't she get a hoodie?
Yeah. Summit Blue.
Didn't we get Mom a hoodie one time?
Mm-hmm.
That had that on there?
Same one.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Let's see. Oh, Josh just asked a really good question. And okay, Josh, I'm going to read your question. I'll let Rustin answer it, and then I'll give my answer. Before Rustin says his answer, I'm going to give a little preview. Josh said, can y'all explain Kim's offense? At times it looks truly terrible, and there's very little movement or picks. Even when the men aren't scoring, their offense is setting tons of picks and moving. All right, so I'm gonna clarify one thing, and then I'll let Rustin answer, and then I'll give my answer. My question is, are we talking about Kim's offense in late November, early December, or Kim's offense in late January to late February? You go ahead and give your answer, Rustin, and I'll explain mine.
So they run a hybrid of the dribble drive. The dribble drive offense used to be a 4-out, 1-in offense where the post player stayed opposite of the ball to clean up backside for missed shots, missed layups, be available if a player penetrates and the post player slides over to guard and leaves the offensive post player open for a little bounce pass for a layup. There's 2 different ways you can run the dribble drive. You can run it where the way Calipari used to run it at Kentucky, where your four players on the perimeter try to stay as far away from each other as possible to create driving lanes. And every time somebody drives, the player closest to them circles behind them. You'll see Tennessee do this some with Jemai Meshack. Anytime somebody drives to Jemai Meshack's side, you'll see Jemai circle behind them. And what he's really doing is if the player gets in the paint, jump stops, and can't do anything, he can turn and kick it right back to Jemai. Now, typically, that's so somebody can take a wide open jumper. Jemai usually uses it as an opportunity to attack the basket because there's this lane that's been created by the initial penetration. So one way you can run the dribble drive is that you get as wide as possible, and you drive and the closest offensive player circles behind, and you just keep doing that. You just keep doing that in circles until somebody either gets a wide open three, a layup, or a dump down to a post player. The way Kim runs it, she runs it off ball screens. So the guards try to stay as far away from each other as possible, and you'll see them call a number or a set play. And the set play or the number is just who's coming to set the initial ball screen, and then off of that they run the dribble drive. So they're looking for post players rolling off that ball screen. They're looking for a pick and pop opportunity with, say, Jules Spear off that initial ball screen, or they're looking to just attack the basket and either get a layup or get to the free throw line. The key is they want quick shots. They want to get to the basket early. They want to try and get a shot up within 8 to 10 seconds if possible, and they don't want to go deep in the shot clock. Unfortunately, this team has an issue of finishing the drive, and they tend to end up going really deep in the shot clock, which is not ideal when you're running the dribble drive with ball screens.
So I think what we've seen from Kim this season is she realized in early to mid January we can't shoot as well as I hoped. And if you'll recall, the first 2 weeks on the job and the first week of practice, and the first week of the season, she said multiple times, she goes, I want to get a shot off in 10 seconds or less. And then she would clarify and say, not just any shot, I want a three in 10 seconds or less. And if you go back and you watch the first couple games of the season, that's what they were doing. They were jacking up threes from all over the place, man. Then they started not hitting as many. And so if you'll go back and watch mid-January, after they lost a couple games, she said, we have to get to the basket first. We have to get a layup first, and then the outside game will open up after that. And from that point forward, it's been totally different.
Yeah.
And I totally understand what you're saying, Josh, and it bothers me too at times when they just stand there for a little bit. And it's, I would say a 2-woman game, a pick and roll action stuff, but they didn't even do that so much. And so I get it, man. I totally understand what you're saying.
Honestly, I kind of wish they would go to the traditional dribble drive and stop setting screens. I wish they would, because they've got athletes. I wish they would spread out and start running the traditional dribble drive where every time somebody cuts, somebody's circling behind them, and just do constant movement the whole time. Because, the goal they have in the press is they want to wear people down. Okay, well, let's run an offense that's constantly moving everywhere. So defenders are having to constantly run and chase everywhere. They're going to wear down even faster. I think the other thing you get with that, post defenders wear down faster, which plays to Z Spearman's strengths. If she's being guarded by somebody that is having to constantly help over and move a lot, she can slide around and be crafty and be open quite a bit. The other thing you get when you run the traditional dribble drive is when you wear the other team down, wear the other post defender down, every once in a while you can call a quick hitter to get a post up for Z Spearman. And everybody's so spread out, they can't help down on her. So you get a easy one-on-one matchup inside with no help. And she can hurt people in that. So I honestly would like to see them stop setting so many ball screens and spread out more.
So Greg earlier said he bought a home sweet home and a goat t-shirt today. So this is the home sweet home design that Greg got today. And so either Greg or Mr. Osborne one got the 50/50 shirt, the dry blend and cotton. And then the other person got the soft style shirt. So I would love it if y'all, when y'all get these, if y'all would let us know how you like them, the quality, the quality of material. If you like the material on each one, I would love to know how those turn out as well, because that'd be really cool. Um, Very, very awesome. Appreciate that very much, guys. That is so cool. And let's see. Tony said, like I said before, Cooper's very talented, needs an attitude adjustment. Yeah, that's fair. Let's see. Big Orange said, "What's up, all bros and Vol Nation? Hey, good to have you, man. Thanks for joining us." Herb said, "It's the men's game at Florida. You have an off game, check it off, get ready for the next one." You're exactly right, Herb. Can't say it better myself, man. Thank you, and thank you for joining us. Let's see. Josh said maybe something to that, because if they shot like they did tonight and kept shooting it in 8 seconds in the shot clock, they would have given up 120 tonight. Yeah, that's exactly right. He said, so she's trying to slow it down some. Yeah. Hey, James, he said, what about James Pierce Jr. 4.4740 at the combine? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and share that because I had that on the list too.
Well, what was crazy was he ran a 4.5 and was the fastest defensive lineman. Then he ran a 4.47.
Yep. He was the fastest defensive lineman by 1/10 of a second. And so this is a really cool overlay. You got Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, and Jalen Hurts. James Pierce Jr. ran it faster than 2 of those 3 guys. It's incredible. That's a freak athlete right there, man. That's incredible. Mina, like he said, it's the 200th episode, and we're having our shopping day a day early to celebrate. Hey, I appreciate that very much. Somebody mentioned she said it's a birthday present earlier, but I appreciate it very much. That is awesome. Seriously, I wish I could tell y'all how excited I get when I see the email come through that sale has been made on our website. It just pumps me up, man. It's so cool. Let's see. Josh said, hopefully Kim reaches out to Gino in the offseason, maybe picks his brain. Whatever you think of him, his offense is beautiful to watch, and he always gets open shots. I mean, he's an incredible coach. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Well, let's slow down. I mean, we're talking about the coach who won a national championship averaging 33s a night. The reality is she inherited a roster that wasn't very good. I mean, let's just be candid. Sarah Puckett, has she thrived in an athletic system? No. Tess Darby, will she get you a shot or two a night? Yes. Does it get canceled out with horrendous on-ball defense? Yes. Jillian Hollingshed is rising to the occasion. I've said since last year she was underutilized. I think you're going to see her really go off next year. She's just going to get better and better. When you look at the returners, there wasn't a whole lot there. Jewel Spear's a good player, but even she's a little slow. So I think Kim is adjusting because of who she has. Because then, what she had to do, she had to go in the portal and try and salvage a roster. Well, great shooters aren't in the portal in women's basketball.
Right.
They're just not. They lucked into Sam Spencer, but there aren't a whole lot of great shooters sitting in the transfer portal. And so, she's trying to run a system that wants a 3 within the first 8 to 10 seconds of the offense with players who can't make that happen. So they're having to reinvent themselves. They're having to find new ways to win games. And, next year, I would bet you're going to see the 5 incoming freshmen play a lot of minutes. I'm curious to see what Kaya Wynn gives them when she's healthy. Talasia Cooper will be back. Jillian's going to have a great year next year. I think you'll probably see her go find 2 or 3 shooters and not necessarily athletes, because she's going to be just generally more athletic as a team. So she can find some players that really fit. But it's going to take a couple of years. She was fortunate at Marshall. She inherited a team that shot the ball well. And so she was able to walk right in and run her system with players who were all pretty good shooters. And they thrived in it. But she did not inherit a roster that, you know, plays the way she wants to play.
Yep, you're right. Big Orange said James Pierce Jr. definitely falls into the freak athlete category for sure. Matt said, "Congrats, James Pierce. Go Vols, baby. Absolutely." Greg said, "One embarrassing loss and a lot of panicking going on." You're exactly right, Greg.
Yep, means
That
nothing.
is Vol. That is Vol Nation, though. that's especially Vol Twitter. But you're right. We got to remember this is the lady who beat Gino already this year, who almost beat Don Staley. I mean, she almost beat Texas. She almost beat Oklahoma. She did beat Iowa. I mean, it's really crazy impressive what she's done. Josh said that's true. Rustin need to give her a few years to get some players like UConn and South Carolina have. Absolutely. Josh said, "How is Kelly Harper such a bad recruiter?" Shaking my head.
That's a good question.
He said he has a gut feeling Cooper may transfer.
I don't know. I think Kim has a bit of a she's hard on them, but she's also a player's coach, and I think I think there are players who maybe don't respond well in pressure situations because of maturity issues, but it doesn't necessarily translate to an issue with the person. Meaning an issue with the coach. So I think there will be some soul searching in the off season. I think the coaching staff will sit Talasia down and probably show her video footage of things that she did that's been caught on camera, and say to her, "Look, you've got superstar potential, but this stuff's got to change. Like you can't react like this. If for no other reason, the WNBA doesn't make a whole lot of money, but the little money it does, they pay pretty decent. And Talasia's absolutely a pro player unless they continue to watch her act like this on the bench and watch how she handles herself. And there's only so many players that get drafted. They have limited rosters. They're not going to waste it on a player that's a head case. Like they're not going to deal with that in their locker rooms. They can't. They're so the margins for profit in the WNBA are so tiny, they can't have players that act like she does. And so she's going to have to mature.
Yeah, absolutely. Rhonda, welcome. Glad you're with us. Rhonda said, "Hello, Vol Bros and Vol family. Congratulations for 200 episodes. You guys do a wonderful job. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. You were very kind." Let's see. Josh said, "I'm just mad because it was Kentucky. We could have lost to Ole Miss by 30 and I wouldn't have cared." Jonathan said, "This loss would worry me if we'd been playing all year like this and wasn't getting better. But one loss like this doesn't bother me." That's a good point.
Yep.
Big Orange asked a question about the baseball team. We're about to talk about them here in a minute, so we'll save that one for then. Mississippi Vol said, "I hate we lost the way we did, but I must confess I do have much respect for Coach Brooks. He's fantastic coach."
Yeah.
He said, "Don't care one thing for Kentucky, but they have a good coach and he has them playing well for sure." James said, "South Carolina knew she had an attitude problem. They probably told her to hit the door." Greg said, "I do wish the Lady Vols would stop those full court pass fast breaks. Always seem to end in a turnover." Yeah, they have not mastered the dropping it right over the defense to their teammate. It ends up on the baseline as they try to pass it up court. So Evan Myrick's still with us, I hope. He's here for one reason, and that's talk about basketball. The basketball team, men's basketball, did win Tuesday night Uh, Now all attention is turned to this Saturday. And listen, I don't care what people think about Dick Vitale. The man has done tremendous things for college basketball. And I'm so thrilled for him personally that he is healthy enough that he is going to be there to call this game Saturday. Uh, the guy, the guy, whether you like it or not, he was the voice of college basketball for years and years and years. Um, and it's so sad what he's had to go through health wise, really the last 2 years. And I'm just thrilled, absolutely thrilled for him that he is healthy now and going to be back on the sideline is tremendous. Um, you could see the emotion on his face last week when he got to call his first game, and he's sitting on the sideline, and they're asking him about everything he's been through, and he couldn't help it. He was tearing up talking about it, just how happy he was to be back on the at the court on the sideline. So I'm super excited for Dickie V. Uh, look forward to hearing him once again. And Mina Lackey just said exactly right. Uh, she said, I'm so happy for him. Coach Barnes called him every day and prayed with him. You're exactly right. That was one thing that was really, really cool. Jonathan said, I'm glad to get to listen to Dickie V call the game Saturday. I agree. Big Orange said, I love Dickie V. Saturday will be awesome. Totally agree. That was one thing that was really neat. You know, it was right after Dick Vitale received his first diagnosis, and he had to step away from basketball. It was actually during the time he had throat cancer. He was not allowed to talk. And so what was so cool was a couple different times he would tweet out the text message that Rick Barnes would send to him. And man, it made you fall in love with Rick Barnes all over again. Very similar to what Chaz Lanier said about Rick Barnes Tuesday night after the game. You got to love Rick Barnes. You just have to. With that,
Well, I think what she was referring to this most recent time he was in the hospital, Rick Barnes would actually call him every day and pray with him over the phone while he was in the hospital. Um, and I think that's what I'm most looking forward to Saturday. I mean, it's going to be a fantastic game. Neyland or Thompson Bowling will be rocking, but I'm most looking forward to the moments when they give Dick Vitale the opportunity to just talk.
yeah,
And he just talks about his relationship with Rick Barnes. That's going to be must see TV because Dickie V never holds back. He's going to say
yeah,
exactly what's on his mind, and the relationship that he and Rick Barnes have is just really, really impressive.
totally agree. Totally agree. It's going to be, it's going to be an awesome atmosphere. Orange out at the game. So it'll be a great atmosphere. But Rustin, he's right. I mean, it's going to be so cool when they see each other when Rick comes on the court. That's going to be cool. Um, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for it. Evan said he's just here to see how bad we get beat Saturday. Come on, Evan. Let's see.
It's gonna be a war. I mean, this game is
Yeah,
probably for the number 1 seed. I mean, whoever wins this, I would almost guarantee is going to be a 1 seed, and whoever doesn't is going to be a 2.
yeah. Um, Big Orange said, "Go Vols, be Bama." Absolutely. Like I said, we are all blessed this Saturday. Absolutely, it's going to be a great game.
And
Eric said, "I can't wait for Saturday." Go ahead.
and Evan, the other thing is, Evan Myrick, not Evan Pierce. The other thing is, if at the end of the season Zakai moves on and Rick Barnes retires, we're also going to be watching our future head coach. So, a little extra incentive.
uh, Eric said he thinks that Tennessee can beat Alabama. I agree, they can. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing about this team. Tennessee can beat any team in the country any day of the week. Tennessee can also get beat by 15 from any team in the country any day of the week. It all depends on how they're shooting the ball, sadly. And so, thankfully, when they did play Auburn, neither team shot well. And a lot of that was just poor shooting, but a lot of that was Tennessee's defense as well. So that's the thing about this team. It's you never know what you're going to get when they step on the court, and you just hope that they're on, man. Because when they're on, nobody's beating them. Nobody. I mean that. Nobody. When they're not hitting, look out. Look out. Rhonda said Dickie V is college basketball. Love he's back. Absolutely. Matt said, how can you talk bad about Dick Vitale? Sam said, isn't it funny that Kentucky wants to give us up as a traditional rival in football and where there's Super Bowl in basketball? Evan said, Rick Barnes is a good man. He sure is. Like he said, Coach Barnes, the winningest coach of all. Absolutely. Matt said it's going to be must-see TV wrestling for sure. Evan liked your Nate Oates comment there. Evan said he'll be in the NBA before that happens.
I don't know.
I don't see Nate Oates in the NBA. I don't see that.
Don't underestimate Nate Oates and Danny White's relationship, Evan. There would be no Nate Oates right now if it wasn't for Danny White. He'd still be coaching high school ball.
It's true. Like you said, we won't lose. She said, let's see, at home, Dick Vitale, orange out. We got this. Absolutely. Josh says, hot take, Tennessee men come out firing, put up 90. Hey-oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. He said, UT 90, Bama 74. Dude, I'd love that. That would essentially lock up a 1 seed if they did that. No joke. Like that would lock it up. Especially then if they go on to beat South Carolina as well to end the season, then yeah, that would, you'd have to think that locks it up. Do they have another game between Ole Miss? Yeah, oh yeah. So they got Bama this Saturday. Next Wednesday, oh man, that stinks. It's a late game. Next Wednesday they go to Ole Miss.
Yeah,
that's going to be a tough game. And then they end the season hosting South Carolina. Let's see. Josh, no, this is funny because this was rather humorous today. Josh said, Alabama's a broke university. You have the AD and football coach crying about competing in NIL. I can't believe he said that today. Just so everybody knows.
I couldn't either. I was sitting there going, read the room, dude. Are you serious?
For real. Just in case you didn't see what Josh was referring to, earlier today, Kalen DeBoer essentially bemoaned how he hopes there's a revenue sharing model put in place that has a cap so that it can be fair to Alabama football again to be able to compete and get best players and stuff. And I'm like, are you for real right now? Like, are you being for real? Are you saying this? Unreal.
Somebody needs to tell Kalen it's time for him to open up a Mercedes dealership. He doesn't understand how this works.
Yeah. And hey, if you think Rustin's joking, I have a very, very good friend who is a Hall of Fame softball player at the University of Alabama, four-time All-American at Alabama. And she told me she was there in the early to mid 2000s. And so she said that there were times when all the softball players come walking out of practice and all the football players would be over in the parking lot, leaned up against their Lamborghinis and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, how is that even happening? And apparently there was a car dealership in Tuscaloosa who would lease the cars to football players for $50 a month. That was their lease.
And it was owned by Nick Saban.
So little shady. That was pre-NIL, by the way. Very much pre-NIL. Jonathan said, I really want to win the game Saturday, but I'm worried about a slow offensive game to start for us and us not being able to catch up. Yeah, that's fair. Absolutely. Matt said his batter ball syndrome is in full effect.
Evan just said they did not have Lamborghinis. He's right. They didn't. They were all Mercedes.
He said, they didn't have Lamborghinis. Hellcats for sure, though. Let's see. Matt said, you know, Battervall syndrome meal. Like he said, they make a T-shirt for that. She's right. We do. We sure do. Matt said we need 2 of those shirts just in case. Yeah, Greg said there's a T-shirt to help with that. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. It's a thing now. It's a thing. I love it. Let's see. Mississippi Vol said, Russ and I agree about Coach Kim. I think she's done an excellent job considering the shortcomings of this team. She has the Paldo twins and several others on the way. Should see a difference next year. Agreed.
Remember the name Lauren Hurst. She's from right up the road here, Cleveland High School. She has signed to play volleyball and basketball at Tennessee, and both coaches are in agreement that they're going to allow that to happen.
A little bit of an athlete.
She was the high school player of the year in both volleyball and basketball. And she was a McDonald's All-American in basketball. And she is a stretch 4 who can shoot it, crazy athletic. She is a perfect fit for this system. And I will predict now that she's going to put up some massive numbers in this system.
Sam said, did you guys see the interview of Rick Barnes on the Dan Lebatard show? I did not see that. I'd love to, though. If you can send me a link to it, I'd love to watch it. Yeah. Evan said, most Oats Bama teams have scored against Tennessee is 74. I believe we're 3-3.
Yep.
Josh said, our defense is Nate Oates' bugaboo. We aren't going to let them get out and transition. Half court Bama's totally different team. That's a great point. Brennan said, just now joining off topic, love Evan's hat. Brennan has so this is the dark mode. We also have a smoky gray version. Rustin has the smoky gray version. I'm going to order it for myself, actually. So we got dark mode. Brennan has both on the way to his house. He has ordered both of them. So, Brennan, when you get them, man, I'd love to hear your thoughts, what you think about them. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Rustin's supporting Michigan State tonight.
Brennan, I'm supporting your alma mater.
That's right.
You don't recognize your own alma mater's logo?
Yeah, he does. He does. He's just messing with you.
My son is on the middle school baseball team, and my daughter's on the middle school softball and basketball teams. So, had to get a hat.
Yeah, he definitely recognizes that he's giving you a hard time.
I just came from a middle school baseball game that should never happen at night in this temperature. It's just awful.
But Brendan, I'd love to hear your thoughts, man. When you get your goat hats, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's see. Josh said, Evan said, why do you think Saban got out of the game? Because of the Mercedes stuff. He said, I always knew the Saban Mercedes dealer was a money laundering scheme. Dude was so corrupt.
It wasn't a money laundering scheme. It was just how he got his players' cars.
Yeah, player laundering scheme.
And, if you're willing to take a loss on the dealership, he did. True statement. The entire
awesome.
This is not an anomaly. It's not a one-off. The
Hey.
entire Jeremy Pruitt recruiting department came from Alabama together.
Okay?
They didn't just all of a sudden overnight figure this stuff out.
The Moose, I can't remember his actual name because I'm terrible with names, but I remember his nickname, Moose. That coach, he didn't learn from Nick Saban. That story he made up about how he was still sharing a bank account with his parents, and that was the most bizarre thing.
Well, that's
that was
the
most bizarre thing.
That was Brian Niedermeyer, and he's just
Niedermeyer.
Stupid.
That's it. Yeah.
The entire recruiting office came from Alabama. Niedermeyer was just an idiot.
John said, so I know y'all said if we win Saturday against Bama, we'll pretty much lock up a 1 seed. But if we happen to lose, can we still get a 1 seed?
I don't think so. Unless we win the SEC tournament. If we were to lose to Bama and then win the SEC tournament, then yeah, they would give them a 1 seed in that scenario.
Maybe. It depends on what else happens. Because remember, the SEC is still one of the only conferences that waits till Sunday for their championship game.
Yeah, but it's also the number one conference in America this year by a lot.
That's true.
So
That's true.
if you win that tournament, they'll shuffle rankings if they have to.
Yeah. Surely they'll have a plan B, kind of
Yeah.
situation. Matt said Lauren Hurst. Yep. She said she's his jam. She's a good player. Absolutely. Evan said, doesn't Bradley Central have some ballers too?
Bradley actually has
Typically.
the better team. Bradley is crazy deep and very, very good, but Cleveland has the best overall player. Lauren Hurst is by far the best player in the state, but Bradley is the better team. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Cleveland and Bradley Central is a massive rivalry, and they are 10 minutes apart, and every game is a war.
Yep. Hey, some Lady Vols have come from that rivalry.
Yep.
Sanders said our offense
and some Vols.
Yeah.
You got Del Baker and Vincent Yarbrough.
Yep. Absolutely.
There've been some dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Grant
Vincent
Hurst.
Yarbrough was fun to watch in high school.
Current Vol walk-on Grant Hurst.
Lauren's brother. Yep. Sanders said our offense and our defense has to get better for the Lady Vols. For sure. Mississippi Vols said, yes, I remember her commitment video to Coach Caldwell. Very nicely done. Big brother Brad is on the men's team. Yep. There you go. That's right. Yeah, that's what Eric was asking too. Yep.
Yeah, it's not Brad, it's Grant.
Sam said, I'm glad to see the Alabama head coach advertising there, not the place to go if you want to get paid. Yes, you're exactly right. That's exactly right. Kalen DeBoer. Yeah, probably shouldn't have said what he said today. Tony said, I would like to see Coons pitch this coming Sunday. He didn't throw much Tuesday. Also, great to see AJ Russell Tuesday. Looks like he's way ahead of schedule. You're exactly right, Tony. We're about to talk all about Tennessee baseball.
I don't think they could have asked for a better outing out of AJ Russell. that dude looked like he was in mid-season form. Comes out there off Tommy John pumping 97. That's different.
Eric said Lauren's a great player. He agrees with you. She'll definitely be good for Caldwell's system. Brendan said, yeah, that was a rhetorical question. He knew. Evan said, can't help. He was better at playing players than Pruitt was.
It wasn't that he was better at it. Pruitt just surrounded himself with really stupid people. Like it was unbelievable how dumb that staff was.
Mississippi Vol let us know the name as well. Ron said, yeah, and Pruitt brought the NCAA down on us, and Alabama got a natty. Yep. Let's see. Matt said, Hurst is a Vol. If you don't know, be happy. Josh said Vincent Yarbrough was stupid athletic. Absolutely,
okay.
He was.
So without rehashing the Jerry Green days, I will say, so Vince was a senior when I was a freshman. No, sophomore. And that back then there was a tournament in Chattanooga that had a annual dunk contest.
You talking about East Ridge High School?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I watched Vincent Yarbrough with my eyes. I can say I saw this myself. Take a penny off the top of the backboard at East Ridge High School during a dunk contest. When they said he was going to do it, we were like, that's stupid. No way. Then he did it. I've never seen anyone leap like Vincent Yarbrough could leap.
I think you were also there when Cleveland, which Yarbrough was playing on that team, played Brainerd, had CJ Black.
Black shattered the backboard.
Shattered the backboard at East Ridge. Yep. The game had to stop.
It was a permanent backboard. Then they they couldn't replace it. So I was like, all right, game's over.
Yep. Let's see.
It was insane back in those days. The talent that was funneling in basketball, the talent that was funneling through Chattanooga. I mean, half of Jerry Green's roster came from Chattanooga. It was just insane.
Yep. Rhonda said, remember when our Shelbyville Eaglets had some good games against Bradley? That's what I'm talking about.
Shelbyville had some rosters. They were tough.
That's pretty good. I like that. Let's see. Evan said he even got his wife involved. Pruitt, yeah, if that's what
Oh
you're
yeah.
talking about. Josh said, saw the Vol Club Confidential with Hunter Inslee, and he said Marcus Phillips is the hardest guy to hit off of. Interesting. Said his fastball is good ride and nothing he throws is straight. That's very interesting, actually. Matt said, thanks for taking my mind off the butt whooping we just got. He said, best ball community I know. I appreciate that. Josh said, why do y'all think the basketball talent in Tennessee's gone down, even though the population is steady rising?
I can answer that. It's the rise of prep schools all over the country. Back when I was in high school and when I was coaching, nobody was coming in and rating the town of their best players. I mean, we were just talking about the Jerry Green days. In Chattanooga alone, while Jerry Green was the head coach at Tennessee, he signed Del Baker, Vincent Yarborough, Tony Harris, CJ Black. I'm forgetting one. I can't remember his last name. There was a guy at Tyner High School that everybody just called Ant-Man, who was by far the best player in Chattanooga. All the guys I just listed, Ant-Man was better. But he couldn't qualify. He couldn't make the grade. But everybody in America wanted him. And then, Reed Rawlings was at Macaulay. He ended up playing pro ball in Europe, got drafted by the Houston Rockets. My best friend growing up, Robert Aaron, was at Macaulay. I remember the day when Bobby Crimmins walked into our gym and tried to convince Robert to come to Georgia Tech to start in the backcourt with Stephon Marbury. I mean, this is the level of talent we had in this city.
And Bill played at Navy.
Yep. I mean, there was just ridiculous players coming out of this city. And Shambi High won the college dunk contest, played at the University of Miami.
Wambi Settles ended up playing football at Duke.
Was recruited for both. Was signed for basketball and football. Ended up just playing football. Just ridiculous the talent that came out of this city. And then all these prep schools started popping up, and they started coming in and rating the best players. Felix Okpara, a great example. Went to Silverdale Academy and then finished at a prep school before he went to Ohio State. His brother
Kennedy did,
or Kennedy, yeah, Felix's brother.
He was at Hamilton Heights.
They're just all these prep schools like IMG and Rise Prep and Oak Hill and all these places are just coming in and rating the best players, and kids aren't staying home anymore.
Yep, that's exactly right. I mean, like you said, Ant-Man, like Marvel.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what his first name was Anthony, and I can't remember what his last name was, but everybody just called him Ant-Man, and he was hands down the best. I mean, again, think about all the talent I just listed. That dude was better than everybody else by a lot. He was hands down the best player in the area. And I remember watching him when he was at Tyner High School pretty much by himself. Like, they didn't really have anybody else. And Brainerd High School had CJ Black, Tony Harris. I mean, they were loaded. And Ant-Man beat him pretty much by himself. Everybody in Chattanooga went to that game that night because they never played each other. And Ant-Man went in there and pretty much dominated and won the game by himself.
Rhonda, did I read that correctly? Did you go to Saudi Daisy? Is that what I just read? If so, there's another Chattanooga person right there. That's what I'm talking about. Rhonda said Rick Insell, when he coached at Shelbyville, we fed our in-state colleges. Yep.
It wasn't just that. He also started the Nike Flight program, and that AAU program was feeding everybody. They were ridiculous.
I like Matt's emoji usage here. The Chattanooga baby with an emoji doing the dab on there. That's what I'm talking about. That's amazing. Let's see. Eric said, so if a player shatters the backboard, what happens if the opposite team of the player that shattered the backboard is ahead? Do they win or what? That's a great question.
So in that scenario, that was during the district tournament. And so what they had to do, because the rest of the tournament couldn't be played in that gym because the backboard had to be completely replaced and it was installed from the ceiling. So
Yeah.
there was no way they were fixing it by the next day. So they had to move the entire district tournament to another school, and they had to postpone everything that day and reschedule it all to start the next day. So they basically said, okay, this game's over. Stop it where it is, and we'll move it over to this gym tomorrow and pick it up where it left off. And so they finished the game the next day at another location.
And which is really sad because that was right after East Ridge's new gym had just been built, and it was like one of the nicest gyms in town. Just super super nice facility, and all of a sudden we can't play there anymore. um, let's see. I mean, like you said, Anthony Walker.
So that I don't think that's right. So no, it might be because Tony Harris was at Brainerd. Yeah, actually, that
I
might
think
be
it is
right.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But yeah, I remember everybody just calling me Man because I was so Rustin is a few years older than me. So, when he was in high school, I was probably 10 or 11 years old at the time. And I remember that guy. I remember everybody calling him Man. He
Oh,
could jump out of the
everybody.
gym.
If Tyner was playing, everybody wanted to be there because they just wanted to see him. He was going to do something nobody had ever seen before.
She said, "You dare question me?" Never, never me no likey. Josh said, "Crazy talent in Nashville too back in the day.
Yep.
ProCon had Ron Slade, John Henderson on the same team.
Drew
Yeah, that's not
Maddox,
that's not
Ron
who you want to
Mercer.
show up to play."
Good Pasture had Drew Maddox and Ron Mercer on the same team.
Brennan says, "Show some love to the bros. Like, share, and subscribe." I think that's fantastic advice. He said, "Best Tennessee sports show on the internet." Hey, I appreciate that very much, man. Thank you so much. Thank you, Brennan. That means a lot to me, buddy. I appreciate it. Ron is saying, "When is the next cart cam coming out, Evan?" That's a great question. So I've actually got one scheduled next Friday. We're going to record it next Friday, March the 7th. Rob Wilkinson, who is the assistant golf professional at the Little Walk Club, he's going to play with me. So we got that one coming out. Then actually, we're going to have a really fun video. It's going to be me, Rustin, Rob, and Tom. All four of us playing a 4-person scramble, trying to break the course record at the Little Walk Club. So basically, it's going to be Rob and Tom trying to break the record, and Rustin and I are going to be like, "Good job, guys." We'll use their ball this time. So, but I do have a plan. I'm gonna make sure that whenever we go to the green and start putting, Rustin and I are always going to be the first two people to putt. That way, we might at least use something of ours during that scramble.
That's my goal, is to contribute one putt that day. I'm gonna keep saying over and over, "Hey, let me do the first one so you can see the line."
Yeah.
But in reality, I'm just trying to sink it so they don't get to putt.
That way we can contribute something at some point in that round. That seriously though, that's like my game plan. So I mean, like you said, the absolute best. I appreciate best show. I appreciate that very much. Josh said Florida State just beat Notre Dame, so that's women, so that's a good win for us. Absolutely. Like you said, I think Sadie got lost in the dryer. Yeah, she's still on my daughter's golf clubs. We got to make her show back up. I'll take her next Friday. I will. That's a good point. Matt said this chat needs 5,000 more vols. Where are y'all at? I appreciate that. So right now we got 307 people watching across all three platforms. We got 277 on X. So that's awesome. Thank you all. Reed retweeted us earlier. I appreciate you, Reed. Thank you so much, man. So last topic of the night, the baseball team has quite a big weekend this weekend coming up. Tomorrow, just so everybody knows their schedule for this weekend. Rhonda asked, "Did you get your water heater fixed?" So yes, we are in the process of doing that. It's been a long process. So, in case anybody doesn't know, our water heater essentially exploded. We had water all over the place. Um, we did get the water heater fixed. Home insurance is taken care of. They're being really good to us. I appreciate Travelers, not a sponsor, but you could be. Travelers Insurance, our homeowners insurance, doing a great job. But ServPro had to come out and try to dry everything out, cut out some sheetrock, take out some insulation, put fans. We had fans blowing in our house 24/7 for goodness, almost a whole week. But that part's done now. The guy's coming out tomorrow to start giving us quotes and stuff on putting everything back in there now, putting the flooring back in, putting the sheetrock back on, insulation. So yeah, we really appreciate it when you purchase hats and shirts because it's going to help me pay for pay all the. But after paying the plumber and stuff and our deductible, all total, all in, we're going to be out $4,050 based on our water heater sabotaging our house, basically, and our pressure reducer valve not working, which is what caused the water heater to essentially explode. So fun times at the Pierce household. But just so everybody knows, here's what the baseball team has coming up, their schedule for this weekend. They are playing in Houston. Now, every game will be broadcast not on the ESPN app. It'll be on the Houston Astros website and the Houston Astros YouTube channel, which honestly may be easier to access than the ESPN app. So if you're looking for the game, go to either the Astros website or their YouTube channel. My guess is on the website, it's just going to be an embedded link from the YouTube channel, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Here's their schedule. Oklahoma State is game 1 tomorrow. They play. They're currently ranked number 16. Oklahoma State tomorrow at 4:05 p.m. Eastern time, which would be 2:05, I believe. Is Houston on Central Time or Mountain Time?
Central.
Okay, so 3:05 there. So if it's Central Time, it'd be 3:05 start time, 4:05 Eastern Time.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I was just saying, let's not confuse it. It's just 4:00 Eastern.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. So that's the first game that they play in Houston is tomorrow. So you can expect Liam Doyle to be on the mound.
And Oklahoma State's not ranked anymore. They're 4-3.
Really? Huh. Well, how about that?
Yeah, they dropped out. They dropped out of the top 25 in the latest poll.
Oh, well, there you go. They were number 16, so I guess that's no more.
No.
So that's tomorrow, 4:05 Eastern time. Then Saturday, historically, especially from the 1990s, a very good team, Rice, hadn't done so well lately, but they play Rice Saturday, 12:05 Eastern time, and then Sunday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern time against Arizona. So three big games this weekend. It'll be fascinating to see how they do, particularly against Oklahoma State, but really all of them. But it'll be very interesting to see who comes out to start on the mound against Arizona on Sunday in Game 3. Are they going to do what they did last week? And Saturday against Rice, is it going to be Marcus Phillips starting with Nate Snead coming out of the bullpen? If we see that happen, then we know Nate's not starting Sunday. So is it going to be Arvidsson again? Is it going to be Tegan Coons? Is it going to be AJ Russell starting Sunday? We'll see what happens. So what are you most looking forward to this weekend?
I think that Arizona Sunday game, honestly, Oklahoma State's pretty good, but I'm not so sure they aren't better than Arizona. Oklahoma State's 4-3. Rice is 2-5. They've fallen off the map. Arizona's 5-3. Um, the other thing that's interesting is the midweek game after it is on Tuesday against Radford. So that's probably going to be a Johnny Holstaff game. They'll probably throw every bullpen guy one inning. So they've got everything available for Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see AJ Russell for an inning, Tegan Coons for an inning, Dylan Lloyd for an inning, and then they save all the bullpen guys for Tuesday.
That's what I think is going to happen personally. I think exactly what you just said is exactly what's going to happen. You're going to see guys get 1-2 inning tops. Arvidsson would be in that rotation as well.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're going to see personally. Some of the comments that have come through. Josh said, "Do y'all think Osuna eventually gets to play? This thing is dragging." So we got 318 people watching across all three platforms. Just so everybody is clear, what Josh is referring to. Everybody, I'm sure, remembers hearing 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whoa, Tennessee just got a transfer from North Carolina. This dude hit 20, I think, home runs last year at North Carolina. He's now a Tennessee Vol, but he had to file a waiver to try to get eligible. It was supposed to have been decided yesterday, and it still has not been decided. Now, I say that because no public information has been released yet. It might have been decided yesterday, and it wasn't a good decision. That's why it hasn't been released yet. Or we might find out when he trots out a DH on, tomorrow afternoon. That's how we might find out. As we all know, Tennessee's communications department is sometimes withholding of information, especially injury related. But I know this isn't injury related, but it might be a situation where they're intentionally not revealing everything. We'll see. What do you think? You think he plays this weekend?
No.
I mean, I can't say that he will either.
I doubt he'll even make the trip. I don't see them wasting, because they have a travel limit. So I don't see them wasting a roster spot on a guy who may not get to dress.
Yeah, I agree. Because, surely if he was going to play, that would have already been announced. At least that he's eligible, So we'll see. Hopefully it gets resolved. Josh said, I think the best version of this team has Osuna playing first. Yeah, that's totally fair, man. I think you're probably exactly right. I like Jonathan's idea. Jonathan said Rustin needs to play Pebble Beach live on this show to prepare for that 4-man scramble. That's what I'm talking about. Matt liked it too. Mr. Osborne said Bradley and Cleveland are 3.1 miles apart. Go Bears. My 40-year class reunion for Bradley Central is in July at Ocoee River Barn, or Grumpy's as it was known back in my day. That's awesome. Josh said, pretty cool for the Astros to do that. Crazy SEC Network doesn't want to put these games, these non-conference tournament games on over the Paul Feinbaum show.
They can't. So these games are part of the Astros Foundation tournament, which is the TV rights are owned by MLB Network. Now, what's bizarre is MLB Network isn't going to show but 2 of these games live. And the only one they're showing of Tennessee, they're going to show on tape delay, and it's going to start at 9:00 Sunday night. So apparently the MLB Network is just using it for filler content, for when they're not showing replays of some meaningless MLB game. But unfortunately, MLB Network owns the rights to this. I was just happy that Astros.com was willing to live stream it, because I was not happy when I saw that MLB Network wasn't going to show any of them live. That was pretty crappy.
Yeah. Josh said Oklahoma State's still a very good team, though. Absolutely.
I think that's yet to be seen. Their only quality win is Louisville. They every decent team they've played, they've lost to, and they beat Louisville, and then they beat Abilene Christian twice, and they beat there was one other. No, I'm sorry, they beat Abilene Christian once, and they beat UT Arlington twice. So I don't know. I think I got to see it before I believe it. They haven't proven to me they can play yet.
Let's see some of the comments. Tony said, I would love to see Abernathy lead off, Keeling second, Curley hit third. I'd move Hunter to 5 or 6 hole, but Tony Vino's better than me.
This is the
I mean,
new
I get that.
Yeah, this is the new philosophy. So, old baseball, which I prescribe to, would say you get your 1 and 2 holes on, you knock them in with 3 and 4. But the new analytics show that actually your 3-hole hitter is typically your least productive, and your most productive spot is actually leadoff when it comes to runs scored. And so, a lot of teams are moving to this idea where the leadoff guy is one of your best hitters and the 2-hole is your best hitter. So that you can make sure that one of those two guys scores every time they come up. 3 is kind of a wasted spot. You just have a power guy there and hope he hits it as far as he can, which is why, honestly, Hunter Inslee is hitting there.
Well, the most interesting thing I saw about that recently, you're talking about, the analytics and the stats and stuff like that. There was a breakdown of the percentage amount of times that the hitter comes to the plate with runners on base. And I was shocked, but then when I saw it, I was like, oh, well, I guess that makes sense, actually. The 3-hole was the least percentage time that runners were on base when they came to the plate. And I guess, I thought, I guess that makes sense, because if you start the game, get the first 2 outs of the game, 3 holes coming up, nobody on. So I guess that makes sense, but it was actually the lowest percentage player on the lineup to have a plate appearance with no runners on. And that really surprised me.
That's why the 5 spot, which used to be a power spot in the lineup, has now become a speed spot. If 3 or 4 happen to get on, you typically want the 5-hole to be somebody who can advance them. And so that's why you'll notice like Cannon Peebles typically hits 5-hole for us. They're looking for a guy who puts the ball in play, makes things happen, has some good speed. They're not looking for somebody to hit it out of the park there.
Rhonda asked, does anybody know how Texas A&M is doing so far? So they're actually in this tournament with us. They play all the 3 same teams we do this weekend, just in different order. They just got beat by Texas State.
Yeah, I responded to her in the chat. They're actually 5-2, and they've lost back-to-back games to Cal Poly and Texas State. And Gavin Grahovic, one of their best players, got injured in the Texas State game, and he's done for the year. They announced he's finished.
Yeah, I hated that for him, man. I hated that. I hope he gets his year back, red shirt, but I hated that for him.
Well, if he wants it, I mean, technically he's draft eligible, so he's probably not coming back.
Yeah. Matt said Chaz goes off Saturday, please. Hey, absolutely. I hope so. John said, I don't think the Friday pitchers need messed with, but do y'all think when AJ Russell gets completely healthy, he will move to Saturday and Phillips moves to Sunday? Yeah, I mean, I think one thing we've seen from Tony is that when he finds something that's working and he likes, he sticks with it.
I think AJ Phillips, I think Friday is going to be Liam Doyle and somebody.
Tanner Franklin or somebody.
Probably. Saturday is going to be Marcus Phillips and Nate Snead. And then Sunday is going to be AJ Russell and Johnny Holstaff. They'll have tons of people left in the pen. If AJ gets in early trouble, it'll just become a bullpen game.
Mina Lackey, she's still saying Tennessee needs their own sports network.
The SEC network would say no.
Josh said on the Basilio show, he said Tony was ticked off today take that for what it's worth. Don't know what Basilio has the best sources.
Well, probably
He's got
frustration
some
over
great
the
ones.
fact that they didn't make the decision when they said they were going to.
Let's see. Rhonda said, "Now, Evan, you know we're an open book. You gotta. That was my bad. That's 8 minutes ago. I'm sorry. I don't remember what we were talking about at that point. Let me know, Rhonda. Though. Let me know. Let's see. Josh said, "Here's my take. The NCAA is so weak and powerless at this point. Just put him on the field, see what happens." I mean,
Really, you should.
yeah.
They're not going to change it. They're not going to deny him. Eventually, they're going to say yes. Just beat him to the punch. Put him out there.
Matt said, "I'd pay for the Tennessee Network channel." Nina Lucky said, "Heck yeah, Rocky Top Sports." It's actually a really good name. Let's see. Eric said he thinks Tennessee whips Oklahoma State. Josh said the new analytics say to put your best hitter first in the lineup, so over the course of the year they get more at bats. Lucky. I like the Ukraine one. That's pretty good. Oh, Ron said about us revealing things to the media. I got you. Yeah, I'm excited for this weekend though, because I think we're really going to get our first real true glimpse of what this team is capable of. I mean, I know that it was a 7-5 game or 7-4, whatever it was Tuesday night. I get that. When you step on the field and Oklahoma State's across in the other dugout, or Rice is in the other dugout, or Arizona's in the other dugout, you got a little bit more juice, you know. You got a little bit more.
And you're in a pro stadium with a ton of executives sitting behind home plate.
Absolutely. I think that this is where you're really going to see what Tennessee's bringing to the table. So I'm excited for this weekend for that very reason. Matt said huge game Saturday. Absolutely, man, for sure. And so, hey, it works out time-wise. 12:15, Tennessee takes the field in Houston. They play for 3.5 hours. They're done by 3:30, 3:45. Tennessee tips off basketball 4 o'clock. There you go. Perfect thing. Tony said Tony V's been on the Basilio show many times. Basilio sources that will be mostly accurate. Agreed, for sure. John said, "You mean to tell me NCAA is dragging their feet and making us wait?" Yeah. Yeah, man, that's a good point. Josh said, "Should be the loudest home environment this year at the Thompson Bowling Arena." He said, "Bama has had trouble with starts like Tennessee. I think we can jump on them early and get the crowd involved." Man, I hope so. Sam said, "Looked like some of our pitchers struggled a little against North Alabama. The last couple dudes of the night did, but that was pretty far down the depth chart. Some of those dudes may not see many more innings the rest of the season unless it's like a midweek game like that." Like I said, we got to stay loud for sure. Well, this has been a lot of fun. We got 341 people watching across all 3 platforms, so that's really exciting. Thank you all. Hey, seriously, if you want this awesome looking hat that I'm wearing right here, Puff Embroidery, Richardson 112, really cool looking hat. You can get that at thevolbros.com/shop. We got smoky gray, we got dark mode, and we invite everybody to join us this Sunday night. This Sunday night, we're going to have the people who make this hat with us. They're gonna join us during the show for a little bit. It'll be a lot of fun. They're really fun people to talk with. And Robbie, one of the guys, the guy who will join us, he actually played baseball at Appalachian State University. So it'll be fun to talk with him some baseball after Tennessee's weekend. But we hope you join us for sure. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll have, women's basketball Sunday to talk about. We'll have Matt said, "Yeah, I kind of talk too much, I guess." He said he just doesn't talk because
Well,
I'm hogging the mic.
I'll just add to what you just said. So Tuesday in that midweek game, we threw 10 guys. 4 of them you're not going to see hardly at all the rest of the year unless it's a midweek blowout. And those 4 gave up 3 of North Alabama's 5 runs. So take that for what it's worth.
Let's see. Josh said, give us y'all's one key for when Tennessee beats Alabama. Okay, here's mine. I'll give Rustin a second to think about it. Mine is 7 made 3-pointers. If we make 7 3-pointers, I think we win the game.
5 guys in double figures.
Yeah, yeah. I'll take that any night.
Doesn't have to be 5 high scoring. It could be 5
Right.
guys between 10 and 12 points each.
Absolutely.
But if
Chaz
we get
15,
Yeah.
Gaines 13.
If we get that kind of balance, we did a good job moving the ball, and we had a very positive offensive day.
Totally agree. Like I said, thank you guys. Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. John said, good night, Vol Bros. Great show as always. I watched several Vol podcasts. The Vol Bros is by far my favorite. Hey, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much. That is so cool. I'm really, that makes my day to hear that. Thank you. Rhonda said, always a blast on Vol Bros. Appreciate you got what you guys do. Also, Vol family is best. Totally agree. Man, this community in the chat every time is awesome.
I don't know if you can you see that?
Yeah. What is that?
That is the Army baseball team traveling to their weekend series.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch spots on the screen. Wow. Most teams aren't traveling like that, so kudos to them.
Yeah, I don't know many baseball teams that are traveling on military transport planes.
Mm-hmm.
But that is how the Army baseball team is going to their weekend series.
Wow. Let's see. Rhonda, we do appreciate you so much. Thank you for saying that. We love this, man. It's so much fun. Matt said, where's my Chaz? Yeah, we got to have him Saturday. That's for sure. I love this dabbing emoji he's using. I'm liking that. That was maybe the oldest I've ever sounded in the history of this show. These newfangled emojis that people are using here. I like that. Eric said, good night, Vol Bros. Have a good weekend. Hey, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Tomorrow's my wife's birthday, so super excited to celebrate her birthday. Like you said, are they going to parachute into the stadium? That'd be cool.
Kind of look like it.
Mm-hmm. Josh, so here's a nugget. Last 2 games by Bama and Knoxville, they've had 19 and 22 turnovers. They are again turnover prone this year. 15 plus turnovers by Bama, and we win. I think that's a great one. I like that. Mr. Osborne said, excellent show, Vol Bros. Hey, we appreciate you so much. Thank you, Mr. Osborne. Thank you for your purchase earlier today, too. We appreciate that. Mr. Vol said, appreciate it, guys. I agree with the above. You guys are my favorite as well. Oh, thank you so much. That is awesome. So have a good night and a great Friday. You too, man. And we appreciate y'all. That seriously, that means the world to us, guys. Because listen, there's a lot of great shows, and so I appreciate that so much. Mr. Osborne said, I agree. Vol Bros #1 Tennessee sports podcast. Thank you so much. Mr. Vol said, hey, what's going on here? You swapped on me. Oh yeah, sorry. He said, hope Ginger has an awesome day. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll tell her. Eric said, tomorrow's your wife's B-Day. Well, Saturday, March 1st is mine. Hey, how about that? He said, it'll be 38. Happy birthday, Eric, man. I hope you have an awesome day. And you know what, Eric, for your birthday, I hope that Tennessee baseball beats Rice and the basketball team beats Alabama just for your birthday. I hope you have a fantastic day, man. That is awesome. Happy birthday. Josh said, great show, fellas. Hey, thank you, Josh. Appreciate you, man, so much. Thanks for your always great, insightful comments and questions. Thank you. We love all y'all so much. We hope you have a great weekend ahead of you. Please join us Sunday night. I promise it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to want to be here Sunday. There's going to be a fun conversation happening. So we hope to see you then. And as always, go Vols, baby. Go Vols.